Welcome to the Layman series, the platform where the views and opinions of all laymen are considered. Thank you for tuning in. In this session of macro theology and layman, we would like to discuss about Judaism. As we know that the spiritual needs of our whole humanity and of an individual person comes only from a religion. A religion where he is born into, or from a religion and a belief system that he has accepted. So then, what is Judaism? Where does it originate from? What are the doctrines and the teachings of Judaism? We know that Judaism is a very old religion, dates back to the origin of mankind itself, but we can see a more clear understanding on Judaism around 1500 BC, when God himself gave his laws, his commandments and instructions to a man called Moses, and which has been recorded. These instructions and the laws are kept by the Jewish people. Going back in history, we see that the Jewish nation was under slavery in Egypt due to the circumstances that followed, and the Jewish nation are a descendant from Abraham, Isaac and Jacob, which they consider to be the patriarchs of their religion. So where does the laws and statutes and instruction contained, and which was written down by Moses? It is a book that we call as Torah, which carries all instructions, the 10 commandments and the 613 ceremonial laws that God gave Moses directly, that person keeps all the 10 commandments and the 613 laws and statutes, he can expect to have a good life, and at the end of his life he can attain salvation and go to heaven. And at the same time, if a man breaks the 10 commandments and the 613 ceremonial laws, then he can expect to have a miserable life, and at the end of his life he can expect to go to hell. Now these 613 ceremonial laws, God instructed Moses that whenever a man commits a sin and breaks any of the 613 and the 10 commandments, then he is expected to bring in a blood sacrifice in a desecrated place where the sacrifice will be made and his sins will be forgiven. And that place which God chose was Mount Moriah in East Jerusalem, where today we can see the Dome of the Rock, which is a mosque on that location today. So as a layman, there are two things which I don't understand when it comes to the Jewish religion. The one is that God has commanded to keep all His laws, the 10 commandments and the 613 ceremonial laws, and if you break any of them, you are supposed to bring in a blood sacrifice on Mount Moriah, where Solomon had built a temple. So now, as there is no temple, I don't understand how a man who breaks God's commandment can bring in a blood sacrifice and ask for forgiveness of his sins. Since there is no temple, there is no sacrifice. So does that mean that the sins of the Jewish people and the Jewish nation is not forgiven, as they are not following what God has told them to do? And secondly, is there a way that we can measure the standard that we have maintained all the laws of God, the 10 commandments? Have we been able to keep all of them? Is there a mechanism or a way we can measure that I have done maybe 50% or 60% of the 10 commandments, and now I will put more effort and reach 100% and keep all the commandments of the Lord, and at the end I will have everlasting life and the salvation and a place in heaven? Is that possible? Let me give you this topic, my viewers and listeners, and comment and let me know, is there any way that we can measure ourselves? Till then, I will take up this topic in my next series further, and you comment. Until then, take care of yourself and be blessed.